Hello everyone, I am Tacit and welcome to the Gems of War Campaign 12, Week 5, Day 3. So today, main thing that we have going on is the Goblin pets. Definitely make sure to pick this up if you haven't already, as it is among one of the better pet bonuses in the game. Mostly because 4 times Goblins are a very ridiculously strong team and they get a little bit extra stats. Actually, it is one of the only few bonuses in the entire game that has actually been reworked to be worse, oddly enough. Mostly because 4 times Goblin is so strong. Do I have a 4 times Goblin team? Yeah, I have one right here. Let me double check. What's the current bonuses? Yeah, I believe it used to give magic. I think it used to give mostly like magic and attack, and they had to nerf it to almost like purely durability because it was so much stronger when they were hitting harder with magic. But yeah, they actually had to rebalance it. It's one of only a few. I can't remember all of them, but there was a few types that were like so good for their bonus, like way back when they were first added, that they actually had to rebalance them, and Goblins was one of them. This pet didn't exist back then, though, of course, now they get even more stats from it. Unfortunately, it's mostly just gaining durability, so not really winning you any quicker. But at least you'll be able to survive, if nothing else, in case it doesn't get rolling right away. Anyways, so there's that pet. Aside from that, we're mostly going to be hunting the new orbs as soon as we clear out standard dailies, which I guess we'll get onto now. So, of course, we're not going to be bothering with the pet. I already have it maxed, so we don't even need to touch it. Though my guild does still need assistance with the world event. So we shall go assist them. Also, if I'm not mistaken, I believe we still have 1 spot remaining in the guild. So if anyone can do... Oh, never mind. We already got it. Never mind. Never mind. Someone got it. But we might have room again. Anyways. Let's go to clear out the world event. So all you really have to do for world event is just don't take Chimera. And that's what we're currently doing. It'll tell me to go change my medals. We'll do exactly so. And it'll be good to go. Anyways, hello everyone. Hope you guys have been doing well. Let me go scroll back up on chat. Hello... Barbara, hello Daddy Shark, hello Bill, hello YouTube Flames, hello Tyrion, hello Logic Slayer, hello Sushi Ninja, hello Inflame, hello Crisp, let's see, how have I been doing? Pretty good. Hello Roman, hello Isabel, hello Dwight, hello Logic Slayer, hello everyone else, welcome, welcome, welcome. Anyways, let's go through a poke. Obviously got to get that Valraven. Also, we got absurdly bad Valraven luck at the end of last stream, so yeah, we were guaranteed getting a Valraven here. We got it on like the last possible battle it could ever occur on. That doesn't really matter too much. We're mostly just trying to get a few more points for the guild. I think by the end of the week we'll definitely have all the points. It's a matter of contributing some. Because we could theoretically do none and still be done by the end of the week. Still got to contribute. Also, unfortunately, very bad event for Gems of War this weekend. We have an arena event, and this is yet another patch that unfortunately has not buffed arena events. I'm not really expecting one to come anytime soon. However, arena event is still horrible. And I don't even think we're getting any kind of special troop. I hope they at least do that. That's like a mechanic that I was kind of excited for when they announced like the new changes to arena. And I think they've utilized it 2 or 3 times total. Because it'd be cool if we had some kind of Christmassy troop that we get to use every single arena draft. Or maybe like a, you know, several that could potentially happen. As there are multiple Christmas-themed troops that have been added over the years. But we're probably just going to have like a completely standard arena event with nothing special, which is unfortunate. Oh, we just got the 7% insta-kill, nice. Thief is one of several hero classes that has a 7% chance to get a kill every time it gets a kill. And we just got it. Not like it would really matter too much, they'd probably pretty much all die at the same time anyways, but a little bit extra speed there. Yeah, it's almost the holidays. I can't believe it's so close already. A little over a week to go until Christmas. December goes by so quick. It still feels like the 5th day of December. And it's already like halfway through. It goes by so quick. Yeah, arena event is really bad. Even now that that 1 orb is buffed, I don't even think it's worth it still. Because you do get 1 orb after you do arena like, what, 13 times or something? Somewhere around there. And even with the orb buff, that wasn't even enough to really make it worthwhile, unfortunately. Because I'm probably barely going to touch it this weekend. Obviously, you always want to do it at least once, because 3 gem keys is pretty nice for 1 battle. Maybe even a few times just to get those little bit of offers while also still getting progress for it. But aside from the very first battle, the rest of the battles are pretty bad value relative to time to loot obtained. But similar to how we have been, one thing we will be doing around that time is opening more Vault Keys. Not a 1,000 Vault Key opening again, though, who knows, maybe. But we're going to be opening, at least over the next week, probably 1,000, if nothing else. just slowly over time, over the course of each of the streams, to try to get as many of the new orbs as we can. To the right of us, of course, is all of the new orbs we have found so far. I have not distinguished between rarity, just the total of how many we've gotten of each of the little thingies. And overall, I'm pretty happy with our drop rate. We got a little bit unluckier last night. Though in all fairness, the very first day was definitely above average luck, so comparing it to that is not a good idea. Because that was definitely a bit on the above curve. Anyways, we cleared that out. Campaign we already finished on Monday. Gosh, adventure board has literally nothing. Do we even want to take that for... I guess. Might as well. We already have Magnesia set. If we didn't already have Magnesia set, I probably wouldn't go for this, but since it's already the correct team, might as well. Also, I am still planning on doing the meddling video. I didn't have time to do it today, though hopefully we'll have it up by tomorrow. And it'll be a video going over every single... well, not every single, but it'll be going over about a dozen. Technically, it will be titled top 10, but it'll probably be about a dozen going over because some are in the same category. Like, for example, I would consider Phoenicia and Scourge of Honor to be the same troop as far as meddling is concerned. While they are different troops, they're under, like, the exact same category of why you would upgrade them. So you could do either or both. Obviously, we did both the other night. Or not both, but, you know, the other one that we didn't upgrade, which is Scourge of Honor. But it'll be like the top 10 things to upgrade with those. We kind of covered it in the past, like a few that were worthwhile. I even linked it to that one video. However... oh, yes! Oh, I almost clicked stay. That would have been a fail. We finally hit 18. Still got a little ways to go, though. Oh, no! Immediately hit a trap after the curse trap. That's fine as long as we don't get hit by something else. Alright, let's just take these rooms. Alright, obviously, Magnesia, you gotta get out of here. Replace you with Zulgoth. Also, I hope I finally hit floor 20 soon so I can go make a teams video for floor 20. Because I don't want to do it prior to being at floor 20. Just so we could show 3 battles, specifically at 20, just to show how well they go. Hopefully one of them doesn't fail, because that'd be a bit of fail for doing a video showing teams. We just get a bit unlucky. Because that can happen. These things do have some pretty high stats, so if something very bad happens, you will die very quickly. Especially if you have bad stats effects on you. Which are also annoying to deal with. Because hopefully we don't hit any traps the day I go over it. I'll still have one that will be like an anti-trap team, but some of them will be non-anti-trap teams, and if we hit a bad trap, and having to use a non-anti-trap team is going to be annoying. Because of course if you're, let's say, silenced, for example, you'd want to have cleanse. You 100% want to have cleanse. But obviously not every team runs cleanse, like this one doesn't. Because if you're not silenced, or not under any kind of effect, it is quicker to not run a counter to it, because you don't need it. So hopefully we won't hit any traps, so I can kind of just explain it when we do the video, rather than have to deal with traps while having an incorrect team. Because this team would not be good if we were under silence or some other very annoying effect. Also, I would like mana, please. I really need to go replace this out for a tankier team once we actually hit 20. Because even Dragon Guard's not cutting it now. The tankiest thing I could think of is something with Devourer. I'm thinking of considering the Zulgoth team that runs... oh, what's that one guy that has wild cards that has Devourer? I always forget his name because I'm not a fan of him, but he's really good in this context. Centurican? Is Centurican his name? Why do I forget his name? He's that one wild card one that's used with Zulgoth. I don't use it too often because I'm not a fan of how it plays, but it's very strong for this mode. And we might have to bring it out instead of Thrall soon. Or instead of Leprechaun, but probably instead of Thrall, most likely. I could even start doing it now. Because the biggest issue with Thrall is, while it's a lot of mana, he doesn't do anything beyond mana. Like, mana's his entire gimmick. And if you need more on your team to just mana, then it doesn't work the best. Yeah, Centurican would be really good for this mode once you get 200. I even need to start considering it soon now that we're already at 18. Because his main gimmick is he gives you... oh, that's broken. Daily deal number 11,421 underscore name. 1 per player. You've already owned this. That's funny. We broke the text. That's a new glitch. I don't recall that happening in the past. Yeah, there's daily deal number 11,424. How is there even that many? There probably isn't. Though how is that numerically so high? Because there's only like, what, 100 different daily deals or so? How is it numbered in a way that's 5 digits long? Anyways. Let's see. So we did that, we did that. I think we did all the things. I think it's orb opening time. Because pet I'm ignoring because we have it max, so we don't need it. Adventure board has pretty much nothing today, though I still took the glory, because why not? There's no other events going on other than Ward event, which we already did. So I think it's orb opening time. So of course, we got the version 6.7 patch on Monday. Oddly enough, not on Tuesday, but specifically on Monday night. And yeah, we've been opening a bunch of orbs lately, and we shall continue. As we're pretty much going to be doing that this entire stream at this point. We're going to open 191 keys. I think that's our goal. Get us down to 3,200, which means we would have opened 600 keys or so since the patch. Technically slightly more because we've accumulated a few vault keys since then, but basically 600 keys. Anyways, let me go switch back to Magnesia. And I'll start killing them out and see what we get. But yeah, orbs have been so much more fun to open now that they made this change. This is definitely my favorite update they've done all year. While the dragons were kind of cool, they come in so slowly, and I still don't even have them all, that they didn't really have as much of an impact. Because even though the dragon patch came out in, what, 6.6? Which was like 2-ish months ago, 3-ish months ago. Even though that happened then, it's still going to be until like January or February. Probably February. Like probably the Vault event in February, or March, early March, whenever it falls, is when I'll finally have the Gem Dragons completed. So that's still a while from now. Like, that means it would have came, like, 6 months after the fact, almost, by the time we have the Gem Dragons. I know some people have it now, but those are mostly the luckier people. The unluckier people, who've done, like, 15-plus dragon eggs and still haven't gotten them all, unfortunately do not have it. And we're under that camp now, because I think we're at 14 eggs opened, and I'm still missing 1 dragon. Oh yeah, we will eventually be doing Epic Vault Keys. One thing I kind of want to consider for Epic Vault Keys is do an epic 1,000 vault key opening video once we finally have 1,000. The problem with that is we are like only halfway there. I think we're at like 557 or something as far as epic vault keys are concerned. But if we're going to be starting to throw down more 1,000s when we do vault events, we would reach it pretty quickly. Because if we're going for 1,000 on a vault event, we're going to be getting roughly 100 epic vault keys. But it does mean even if we grinded that much, we probably wouldn't be able to do it until the summer. I don't know, we'll see. Oh gosh, we got major ingots. I hate that one so much. They had to add at least one really bad one to balance them out, but still. Very unfortunate that they did. And it's even more useless than an orange. Like, you thought an orange was bad? At least an orange can save you a celestial. When is saving ingots ever valuable? Because at least every other useless orb does something. A small green saves you souls, which, while it's not a lot of souls, it still saves you souls. A small blue, which I guess we just got, you know, you can still ascend stuff. Those are still very useful. They can save you gems. They can save you from having to open as many keys, stuff like that. So very convenient. Makes it so you might need to buy less tiers during an event, or less event keys whenever a new troop comes out, or other similar things to that. So those still pretty useful, even if you have pretty much everything maxed in the game. I have another one. And then there's oranges. Well, oranges are really, really bad. At least later in the game, they still save you celestials, and celestials still a currency that's ran occasionally for crafting some things in Soulforge, particularly the things that require this cursed runes. And then we have something like, also power is kind of particularly useless, oddly enough, just because the, you know, it's only for Zugoff and the other thing currently, basically. But, you know, it still has some amount of value. You can still get a pretty rare troop from it, even if you already have a couple copies. And, of course, purples are always useful. Those are basically just gem keys by a different name. But then you go over to the new ones, it's like, oh, we got quite a lot of amazing ones. And then you look at the ingot one, it's like, wait, this is like negative value. Like, you're getting absolutely nothing. It's so bad. Luckily, it's not a super high rate, but it's still way too high. It's like a 10% chance, I believe, on both drop tables. Which means you're not getting it super often, but you're getting it often enough that it hurts. Also, I still have not gotten major forging, by the way. I have no clue how I haven't gotten major forging, because I believe it's like 6% off a major orb, and we've already gotten like 1 billion of the higher rarity ones. But I still have not gotten a major forging yet. It is the only new orb that I have not obtained. I have obtained more than 2 of every other rare one. One's even at 1% drop rate and 2% drop rate. You have this like 6% drop rate thing or whatever it's at. I just cannot get. Is it 5 or 6? I should forget. Whatever it is single digit. Like middle single digit. but somehow I've never gotten it. Also, hello Janice, hello Bill Warhammer, hello Clip Bomb, hello Emanator, hello J Shar, hello Jason. Welcome, 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 welcome. All has been well. But yeah, we will eventually be opening a bunch of epic vault keys. Just not quite yet. Because my biggest concern with epic vault keys is the same concern I had with vault keys, and why I always accumulated a stack of them. Because I always had a feeling like this is something that they're probably going to improve the drop table of at a later time. They've done this with many resources within the game over time. One of the more noteworthy ones, so I don't feel like too many people utilize it these days, but one of the more noteworthy ones that were ever happened in the past were how big of a buff VIP keys got. They got like almost double the value when they ended up getting buffed. And like vault keys a little while back, a couple years ago, got a 20% buff, just a flat 20% buff that you can now get compared to what you used to be able to get for loot. So there's always been stuff like that that's happened. And of course, most noteworthy recently, we ended up getting the massive buff to orbs. And while of course that's not a direct buff to vault keys, that of course improves vault keys primarily as far as drop table is concerned. Because one of the biggest things you get from opening a bunch of vault keys is orbs. So I always like keeping a reserve of many of the resources that have a drop table, just in case they ever update the drop table. And my concern of ever opening every epic vault key is they might eventually add unique loot to epic vault keys. As it currently stands, there is nothing in an epic vault key that you cannot get in a standard vault key. Will it stay this way forever? Who knows? But just in case it doesn't, I want to have a reserve of epic vault keys, in case they just put a patch out somewheres where it's like, oh, this drop is only in epic vault key, and you cannot get it in standard vault key drop table. There's nothing that is currently like that. The only difference with epic vault keys is to give you more of whatever you're getting. So you get like 2 or 3 orb drops at the same time. Your normal 250 drop that would be like 300 gems is like a 750 that becomes 900 gems, so on and so forth. On average, they're about 3 times more, but not exactly for most of the drops in it. But there's nothing unique in it currently. It's all just the same stuff in vault keys, just slightly more of it. However, that could change. Time will tell. I actually want to get mana manually here. Actually, you know what? I should just Goblin. I'm doing that as if I need a multicast. But I actually don't need a multicast, so I should just Leprechaun. That's actually a strategy you do quite often in pet battles. Because Finicia's normally... Oh, we got... Gosh, I've gotten so many more 300 gems in just the... Gosh, 500 keys we've opened? Yeah, not even. We've opened like slightly more than 400 keys. I have gotten more 300 drops in those 400 keys than the entire 1,000 I did last weekend. That is insane. In half as many keys, less than half as many keys, we've done more 300 drops than the entirety of last weekend when we did the 1,000. Also, hello, Urjonian. Welcome, welcome. So let me adjust this thing. Boy. Back's hurting a bit. Actually, I slept on my waist like really weird the other day. It was bothering me so much. Luckily, it was just how I slept on it. I thought there was almost like something wrong down there. I was like, oh, I just slept on it weird. I thought it was like maybe my appendix or something. I just slept on it very weirdly. Because every single time I was like moving at all, it was like in sheer pain. Not like super, super hard pain, but you know, like almost every movement of the legs was like causing pain. To the waist. And apparently it was just how I slept on it weirdly. Not sure how. Because one night's rest and it was already gone. Let's see. I'll take that out. Get the explosion. I don't know. Have any of you guys got your appendix removed? Isn't that like a weird organ that does like almost nothing? Or maybe it does do something, but we don't really understand what it does. Because I still don't have mine removed. I'm pretty sure that's not what it was, though. But it was around that area. Hey! Dragonite gnome. You know what that means? My defend team can now be pure Dragonite. So if we go to PvP, go to defense. Well, if anyone wants some Dragonite gnomes, my team is now 4 Dragonite gnomes. Enjoy. Why do I keep typing in dragon? You know it's going to bring up a billion things. Dragonite. There we go. Oh, we officially have a perfect Dragonite team. Come face us. Oh, there we go. Also, gosh, this is such a dated system. Remember this system? Gosh, that's been in the game for so long. That is so absurdly dated. We're talking like 6, 7... How long has the game been around here? 8 years? That's like 7.5 years ago. So hello, Andrew. Welcome, welcome. Wait, why am I clicking there? Let's go do more Vault Keys. We're going to be opening a lot of Vault Keys over the next week. Apparently, it started with our 1000 opening, and now it's going to start with, or continue with, like, the rest of our stack at this rate. Because since the buff, there is a great incentive to open them now. I'll probably still make sure to keep some amount of reserve in case they do another update. Though I highly doubt it. Vault Keys have already been buffed so many times. I'm pretty sure this is one of the last times that normal Vault Keys will ever be buffed. Epic Vault Keys could still get buffed. But, normal Vault Keys, I'm pretty sure, is almost never getting a buff again at this rate. It has been buffed like 3 times in the last 2 years. Which is kind of insane. Because it got buffed with Nomapalooza, it got buffed with the 20% thing, as well as Pity Keys, technically. Oh, Orb of Glory, unfortunately, the smaller one. But, I'll take it. That's a 3% drop. Still no major forging, though. Somehow. Hey, you don't like the occasional, you have earned 91 souls from defending your home kingdom. Yeah, that's such a dated mechanic. There actually was a very broken mechanic with how it was tracked way back in the day, where you would actually steal all the gold from a person when you attack their team. However, the servers weren't updating when the gold was stolen. So, because it's taking an instance of your team from, like, because the way that PvP works is it takes an instance of your team, like, around the beginning of the week or something similar. It still updates that, I think, like, daily or something similar. I don't know exactly how that works as far as, like, in PvP itself. But basically, it was taking an instance from a time in the past. And what it was doing at that time, too, was taking how much gold you had at that time in the past and just storing that value and never removing that value. So if someone had, like, a reserve of 10,000 plus gold just sitting in their kingdom and someone fought them, they would get an additional 10,000 something gold. And if you kept doing that over and over again and finding people that, or, you know, keeping track of who has all the gold and kind of making a list, because you generally fight somewhat similar people over and over again. That was even the case back in the day. But basically, some people who were like ultra gold farming were keeping lists of like all the ones that had better ones, sharing it with the guild, all those kind of things. And basically, there was a whole system made for farming gold that was one of the most broken gold farming methods ever. I was actually the first person who ever got 1 billion gold and ended up utilizing it. But yeah, it was very broken. Because it was supposed to only give you that gold once, and then, you know, stop giving you all that gold. But it was giving you that gold every single time. That was fixed like a couple months later. But it lasted for a little while. Gold farming's still pretty easy to do in the current state of the game through various means. But I'm pretty sure that was the quickest it has ever been in the history of the game, was back when that was. That was like 6 or 7 years ago, though. It was a very long time ago. I was back when you still had to spend gold per battle, if I'm not mistaken. Which was removed after the first year. You got a 5 times chest. Nice. Very nice. Did it have anything good in it? You have 3 kingdoms now with 5 times chests waiting for you. Oh, wow. Hopefully you get some good loot then. I wonder if anyone has done a video on that. I'm pretty sure no one has. I know some people like Genki and maybe a few others have done a 36 2 times chest opening video. I don't think anyone has ever done a 36, or soon to be by the time you get to it, 37, because another kingdom will be added. They even confirmed it in the most recent patch. Probably getting it early next year. But, I don't think anyone has done a 36, or soon to be 37, 5 times chest opening yet. That'd be very hard to try to do. Because I haven't even gotten 37 total. If I go bring up my Mimic number real quick, this is how many total 5 times chests I have ever gotten. In all the grinding we've done, we have gotten 22 5 times chests. There are 36 kingdoms, soon to be 37. So I don't think anyone has ever actually opened 36 or even 30 plus 5 times chests in a row. Just because it takes so absurdly long to set up. The entirety of all the vault grinding we have ever done, not vault grinding, I mean the entirety of all the Explore 12 grinding we have done, basically since March of last year, which at this point is almost a year, is only 22 5 times chests. So it's hard to stack a lot of them. Also, I can't believe that's only been about a year. We were grinding that so much that last year that it didn't even feel like it's been a year. Or it felt like it's been more than a year. Yeah, in 3 months that mechanic would have only existed for a year. The whole mimic system. Which honestly these days seems kind of bad now that they buffed the vault key so much. Because the amount of extra tokens it gives honestly is not that good. Like, it's better than not getting any bonus at all. But the frequency at which they occur, I feel like is slightly too low. I feel like mimics should be at least 2 times more common or 3 times more common than they are. Especially now that they just buffed orbs like crazy. Because with the buff to orbs, you don't really need to hunt for niches as much these days. Like, you still could. And you still need to hunt for those lower rarity tokens so you can upgrade everything else. But as far as upgrading mythics are concerned, you do that entirely off of orbs now. You don't do it at all through Explore 12. You're only doing Explore 12 to upgrade everything that isn't a mythic. Whereas orbs will cover every mythic in the game now. And eventually every legend, like a year or 2 down the line. Because once everyone maxes out every mythic and has a reserve of them, well, you know what they're being used on next? Legendaries. So you would definitely want to make sure you have every mythic in the entire game max before you ever use those things on a legend, though. But there will eventually reach a point, probably in a year or 2, where people will have every mythic maxed due to this new orb system, and then eventually move down to legends. Which it seems kind of weird that every mythic will theoretically be maxed before every legend now. Because under the previous system, it seemed like it'd be impossible to ever max every mythic, even if you grinded forever. Now, under the new system, it is very realistic to have every mythic max before you max out every legend or every epic. Just because how the new metal thingies work. Like, we got 2 niches already during this stream. We got that silver orb of glory, which is 2 niches, or 18 nisha tokens, depending on how you look at it. I know, compared to the top grinders, I probably barely play this game. Which is true. I know when I first started this game, there were some weeks I had 100 hours in the game. Like, I kind of currently do that with, though most of it's AFK, like, it's literally running right now. But I do that with the new Pokemon game, though I'm pretty sure half that time has been AFK. Because theoretically I'm playing it right now, even though I'm not playing it at all. But, what was I mentioning? But yeah, when Gems of War first launched, I'm pretty sure I had like 70 to 100 hours per week or something. Something absurdly high. These days I probably play for about, I want to say 15 hours a week. Give or take a little bit. And a third of that time is probably just taking tribute. Oh, speaking of Orb of Glory. My new orb rate, drop rate is way higher than yours. I feel like it might be. Because honestly, we've been doing pretty good on these orbs. Like, we've already hit 2-3% this stream. Yet still somehow have not hit the forge. Does anyone recall the exact number on the forge drop? Because I have hit so many rare orbs, but just cannot hit the 6% for a, or I think it's 6% for a major forge. It just refuses to drop. That's giving me everything else. Speaking of which, there's a lesser to go with our normals. Oh, we still need more golds. We've been a bit unlucky on those. Well, not really unlucky, but we've gotten 2 of them so far. But I think I've gotten like 3 silvers and 4 bronzes or something. Or 4 silvers, 3 bronzes. And we need more of those golds to balance them out. Because there's no way I'm spending 3 nishas, though we could. We do have some reserve where if we had to, we could throw 3 nisha like 2 or 3 times. Actually, I think we could do it 3 times. Because I believe I have 13 nisha medals right now. And we always have to make sure we keep a reserve of 3. So yeah, I could 3 times do that if I really needed to. Well, who knows, maybe we'll do it some during that video. Actually upgrade some of the things I say are worth upgrading. We already did one of them, we did Scourge of Honor. During that other video we recorded the other day. I'm also going to be doing the top 10 mythics to metal, which I hope to have out tomorrow. I'm probably going to do a small midday stream for Fall Guys tomorrow as well. It's because I haven't streamed it in a while and they have an event going on. I figured I'd finish. I'm also going to get Golden Knight that day. Only the bottom half. The lamer half of it. But hey, still a milestone. We're getting to a lot of those completionist milestones in Fall Guys. The main one I want to do before I ever quit the game. But I'm pretty sure I would never quit it. It's just like one of those casual games you always come back to just to play here and there. But I want the Golden Dragon. I think we're like 600 something crowns away from it. Somewhere's around there. Let's see, we'll take that one over. Get our explosion. I feel like Fall Guys player base has been dying out a bit though. I've still been enjoying the game. Though I definitely don't play anywhere near as much as I used to. Play like 2-3 days a week max. And one of those days will be tomorrow. Just normally we don't stream it when we do it, obviously. There's actually quite a few games I just don't ever bother streaming. Let's see. We'll take that one over. Though I do stream almost every RPG I ever play. And the main reason for that is I feel like that's one of the types of games that people prefer to watch rather than play themselves. Also because they tend to be overpriced and like a one-time experience kind of thing. Rather than something that has replay value. Something good? Oh, kind of. Is this Major Blue even considered good these days? Like, it is, but it also very much isn't. I'm very conflicted whenever I see Major Blue. Because it's both good and bad at the same time. Like, it's not a bad orb, it's just I don't need it. Which makes it kind of bad. Like, purples, I honestly feel like a purple orb is more value than a blue in the current state of the game if you have a big reserve of both. Because purples will make it so you'll always be able to get new mythics or anything else that ever goes into the drop table. But excess blues, like a lot of excess blues, they just don't have a purpose. Like if you already crafted Zolgoth and Rage Carandera, and you have some amount of reserve of small blues and major blues, you've reached a point where purple orbs have basically outpaced the value of blues. At least with purples, you can get new mythics, you can get stuff you don't already have if you don't already have everything, and stuff like that. Whereas blues, like they can ascend stuff, but they can only ascend what you have to begin with. I'll catch you later in Flame. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good night. He's got your second Dragonite gnome? Nice. Oh yeah, I just did that earlier to stream. We got our 4th Dragonite gnome. So if anyone finds my defend team, you can fight 4 Dragonites. Which means you'd get the achievement in 3 battles. Any good orbs so far? Yes, we've gotten 2 silvers. Also, I'm probably always going to call them bronze, silver, and gold, by the way. The Orbs of Glory. I don't think I'm ever going to refer to them as Orb of Glory. I'm pretty sure people will understand what they mean when I say bronze, silver, and gold. But yeah, we got 2 silvers and a bronze. We also got, I believe, a forging. No minions today. Oh, not a forging. I mean a forging. Yeah, that's the one I meant to say. We also got some ingots, but those never matter. Okay, no minions today, a single forging, and 2 silvers and a bronze. Also, we still have not gotten a major forging yet somehow. Like, ever. To such a degree, we're actually going to know exactly when it happens. Because it is the only thing in a major orb that can possibly say the word new on it. Because it's the only one we've never obtained. So we'll know before it even happens that we got a major orb of forging. Because if there's a major orb that says new on it, it is 100% a major orb of forging. Yeah, I have not seen a single Dragonite gnome yet, as in the wild ones that give you Dragonite. However, in all fairness, I have done basically 0 pieces of content since the patch that could give me him. Because the main thing that would give it to you is if you did a bunch of Explore. And I've just been opening Vault Keys since the patch. I've not actually been doing anything that could possibly give him as a drop. Or, you know, not his card, but, you know, physically him as a Dragonite dropper. I just haven't been doing pieces of content in the game since the patch I could give it. So I'm not sure exactly how elusive he is, but if I had to guess, yeah, he's as rare as Curse Gnome. If any of you guys had tried to grind Curse Gnome before, no, it's pretty much non-existent. And I assume the, he's pretty similar. Where his drop rate's just so absurdly low that you could grind for like 3-5 hours and maybe find 0 or 1. Like, it's definitely not worth trying to target grind for, that's for sure. Unless you're already grinding something else because you want to grind that. I would not try going out of your way to try to find a wild Dragonite Gnome. At least not when it's not a Vault event. Because when it's a Vault event, you can grind all you want and explore and you'll probably find a few. Maybe even 1 per hour. But doing so when there's not an event, he's going to be near non-existent. Like, you could go for 10 hours and probably find like 3 max. But during a Vault event, you'll probably find one almost every hour. And if you're doing a Palooza, you'll find one probably in every Palooza. Though, of course, his rate will be drastically reduced. So you can always hold him near the end and do it, because I don't think they fixed that bug. Though we'll find out in the next Vault event. I'm pretty sure they haven't fixed the bug where you can wait the, or maybe it's a feature, I don't really know. It's a bug feature bug. I don't really know what to call them. But they haven't patched it yet, so... I assume it's maybe somewhat intended? I have no clue. But basically, if you hold a Vault event near the end, you can get the maximum amount of loot rather than the reduced amount of loot. Because at the beginning of a battle, it checks to see if you have a Palooza to set your gnomes. But the end of the battle is when it checks to tell you how much loot it gives. And if the Palooza has already ended, like you have to start the battle before a Palooza ends, but then end the battle after a Palooza ends. And if you do so, you'll have the guarantee 4 gnomes, but you would have done it after it ended, so you get the full amount of loot rather than the reduced amount. You can only do that once every 15 minutes. However, you can save a really good gnome near the end, like a Cursed Gnome or a, more recently, the Dragonite Gnome, in order to get the full loot from the Dragonite Gnome. Which at minimum, I believe, is 20 Dragonite. So that basically means, if you don't mind wasting some of your Vault Key time, you can get a guaranteed 20 Dragonite, if not more, from every, or almost every, Palooza that you do. Which honestly isn't too bad. It's not a super high amount, but there will definitely be times you'll get more than 20, of course. You'll also passively be getting some, because if you find more than 1 Dragonite Gnome, you're still getting like a few Dragonite every time you kill them. Another Orb of Forging. Unfortunately, still 0 major Orb of Forging. I'm not sure when we're going to eventually get it, but supposedly it exists. Has the Vault event for January 13th been removed? No. I believe it's still the case. I can go double check. But yeah, January 13th is still the date for Vault event. Let me just double check real quick. Because whatever it says now should be the case, because there shouldn't be any updates between then. Where is it? Oh wait, yeah, hold up. The Vault event! Where'd he go? Yeah, there's no Vault event there now. Where'd the Vault event move to? I have no clue. Maybe they're doing one for the holiday or something? Yeah, there's no Vault here. Yeah, they removed the one on the 13th. It got replaced with Arena. No! Yeah, what happened to... Did they just remove Vault events from the game? No. But I think it might be because they're doing one for a holiday or something. I'm not sure. Because if they're going to be doing one near December, you know, late December, they probably wouldn't want another one on January 13th. So I think they just have a secret one that's going to come during the holiday. It would not be the first nor last time they would ever do it. But yeah, I think we're just getting a special surprise one near the end of the year. Which is also why it's not showing up on the thing, because they're probably going to update it around the time when it actually happens. And because of that, they wouldn't want to do another one in like 2 weeks later. So they probably removed the one on January 13th, but they're going to have a surprise one near the end of the year. Because they've done that before. And it seems like they might do it again. If that is the case, it's probably going to be Christmas weekend or New Year's weekend. Because what dates could that fall on now? Because it's not this weekend, so it'd have to be either 24th, 25th, 26th, or 31st, 1st, and 2nd. Or sorry, 30th, 31st, or 1st, I mean. which would be either Christmas weekend or New Year's weekends. This is the most likely date for it then. Which is either a good thing or a bad thing. People will have off, but you might also be busy for the holidays, which will make it harder to grind. So it could go either way. Oh, so in 11 more keys, we'll go hand out a code, and then we're going to open another 100 keys. And slowly we'll whittle down the stack. 100 to 200 or so at a time. And maybe this weekend is Vault and Arena. I highly doubt it. Actually, we kind of already know. Oh no, we wouldn't know until tomorrow. Because they normally have a notification for when those events occur, but I believe it's normally the day before or so when it starts to appear. So I don't think we would know until tomorrow reset time if we would get a Vault event this weekend. I highly doubt it though. Because is it showing the Arena event in-game? Oh, tribute's ready. Let me double check. Okay, yeah, we're not getting one this weekend. Because it's already showing the event for Arena coming this weekend. And if we had a Vault event this weekend, it would probably also be showing the one for Vault event. If it doesn't by reset time in 5 hours, it definitely is not happening this weekend. I highly doubt it would be. But Christmas weekend or New Year's weekend seems very likely. Though not confirmed, but decently likely. Anyways, let's keep going. We'll hand out a code at 8 more keys. And we'll keep going for another 100. After we open those 8. So another 108 then. And see if we get anything good. Hello, Lester. Welcome, welcome. Wasn't the other surprise Vault event a whole week one? That is true. It could be longer than just a weekend. It could be a week-long Vault event. That is correct. They could have a surprise week-long Vault event out of nowhere. For like Christmas week or New Year's week. Or something similar. Because not all Vault events have been 3 days only. There have been some 4 days, some 5 days, and one singular week-long Vault event. Which I believe was done around the holidays. Was that last year? Was the holidays of last year, actually? Because that was pretty recent. So who knows, maybe they're doing it for holidays this year. Because that would definitely allow you to farm the patch quite a bit, that's for sure. A week-long Vault event. One other thing they did when Curse Gnomes were added is they did a heightened rate of being able to find them. They have not done that yet for the Dragonite Gnome. The Dragonite Gnome is still at its default very low rate. They have not done any week-long event or multiple week-long event or anything similar to increase his rate of appearance, which could still happen. Hello, J-Dog Infinity. Welcome, welcome. How have I been? Pretty good. Getting ready for the holidays. Been staying warm. Gosh, it's been getting cold lately. Yeah, it'd probably be a Vault event. Though it could be both. Could be a heightened rate of Curse Gnomes, or sorry, not Curse Gnomes, I mean Dragonite Gnomes and a Vault event. Which would be very insane if we do. Because then we really got to go get all of our Dragonite in. That means in a single week, if they actually did that, which I highly doubt they would do both simultaneously. If they did a week-long rate of, ooh, Forge. But if they did a week-long, still no Major Forge though. But if they did a week-long... Oh, what am I trying to say? Yeah, if they did a week-long Vault event combined with a week-long increased rate of Dragonite Gnome, we could probably max out the entirety of all the dragons in a single week. Like, get whatever dragons we're missing, get all the components for it, get the dragon itself, maybe even a second copy. I highly doubt they would do that, but if they did... You could do it the entirety of it in a single week, even if you had like no Dragonite right now. As long as you had a decently quick farming team. Which is pretty accessible. You would either need the Rowan build for lower rarity, or if you happen to have it... Oh, we just hit the key. Let me go hand out a code. Or if you're doing higher rarity, you would use the double Ironhawk build, of course. Or the triple if you're farming for the verses themselves. which we're definitely going to have to do because I have almost no reserve reverses. Nice! Gosh, we're getting so much 300 gem drops! I've gotten more in the last 500 keys than the entirety of the 1,000 we did last weekend. It's insane. Anyways, let me go get you guys a code. I did say once we get to there, we would. And now we go to do another 100 keys. Or technically 99 since we just did one of them. Alright, there you guys go. Enjoy the code. Use it on gemsofwar.com for the game code section. Your invite code can be found in your settings menu, whatever game says right over there. Redeem code's right over there in chat. Copy paste the random numbers and letters, number 6R. And give same loot as always. True treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. Enjoy, everyone. Alright, well, let's keep grinding. 99 more keys. That'll be 200 keys this stream. We're almost 200 keys. And then that would have been 600 keys since the patch once we finish these. But right now we're at 500, which is half of what we did last weekend, over the last 3 days. Where is the best to set for the Goblin event in Guild? Wait, what's the best set for the Goblin? Oh, there's an infinite loop Goblin team that's pretty accessible. I mentioned on the Monday video, if you want to go copy and paste it from there, but the actual team was this. We're actually using it a little bit earlier to stream too, if you look all the way at the beginning of the stream. And the copy paste for it's on the Monday video. But Toad Squeezer, Norbert's Turnip, King Gob Truffle, and Strength Fiddler. It's one of the more common infinite loop Goblin teams. There's a couple different variants of it. It's not a pure infinite loop like Forest Troll, Double King Gob Truffle with Greenstorm, but you can't use that for the event, so you can use the standard Goblin one. Yeah, this team is really good at just looping like crazy. You've probably even seen it in Guild War before. It is something that can be used for a Guild War Defend Day if you so choose. But it's also really good for this current event, and it also uses no mythics, which is nice. Also, Norbert's Turnip is normally something annoying to obtain, though I highly advise everyone, if you haven't already, to make sure you get Norbert's Turnip before the end of the week. It is by far the most useful thing in all of Soulforge, and among one of the top 5 weapons probably in the entire game. Probably the lower end of top 5, but definitely top 5, easily top 10. But definitely make sure to not leave without it. The main reason why it's so strong, it might just look like a standard double gem creator. However, it gets mana drain on this perk, but most importantly, it gets extra turn. Just one of only a few hero weapons in the entire game that has auto extra turn. You do have to max it out to have it. However, once you do, it is good to go. And of course, that's easier than ever now due to the new forging scrolls. Or not the forging, the ingot scrolls, I mean. Anyways, let's keep going. No minion orbs. Yeah, I haven't gotten any tonight. And we would have opened almost 200 keys tonight, and so far we haven't gotten a single minion. Minion's pretty low drop rate. In a small orb, you have a 2% chance. In the big orb, you have a 1% chance. Well, I have gotten it a couple times. 2 bigs and 3 smalls. We have not gotten a single one tonight. What is the thing where Soulforge goes past level 10? Yes, that was something that they added last year. Actually, it was the big patch around last year's December was when they updated Soulforge, if I'm not mistaken. So that was about a year ago at this point, I believe, around then. But basically, yeah, there's a new material called Cursed Runes. Now there's a way to buy it daily through the dungeon shop. However, you can also farm it quite a bit during Vault events, as you'll be able to find Cursed Gnomes at a higher rate then. You can theoretically farm them whenever, however, Cursed Gnomes drop rate is really rare. You'll probably only find like one maybe every few hours, and he drops like 10 to 15. You can also use gems to bypass it, so if you have a reserve of gems, I know I and a few others who had a big reserve at the time kind of just gemmed down the entire thing. However, if you're going to be doing it over time with Curse Runes, it's still very doable. You can get some, I believe, at a cheaper rate, though you might want to double check the conversions on if it's worthwhile or not to actually convert your gems into it for whatever tier you're currently at. But otherwise, you can just passively earn it by doing Vault events, as that's when you're going to be able to accumulate a good majority of it. Similar to how right now the new Dragonite gnome is nearly non-existent, but during a Vault event he'll be really easy to get. Not like super easy, but you know, easier than he is now by quite a margin. And Cursed Gnome's pretty similar to that. They're both a gnome that is in a really rare drop table rate, where they appear way less often. There are only 2 gnomes that are like that. I guess I'm forgetting of one. The Cursed Rune gnome and the Dragonite gnome. Not sure what their exact odds are, but they're very similar, very rare drop. Which you would mostly find in Explorer. Like Quick Kill and Explorer. Is a turnip weapon forgeable by level 12? Yes, you can do it at any level. Actually, no, that's not true. I think you would need like a forging level of like 8 or something. But yeah, if you have 10, you'd be able to do it. Should just be sitting in your Soulforge right now. Which I could check right now by looking at the thing. But I believe it was this level 8 you only needed to be legendary weapons. Yeah, mythic weapons you get at 10. Okay, you need a soul forge of 9. So if you're at 12, yeah, you're already there. Because you can get legendary weapons as early as 9. Which is what the turnip is. So you'd already have that under the previous system. I am slightly tempted to make a new account for next year. There's so much new player stuff I almost want to kind of do again. From a scratch. The only annoying part is how much time it would take. Like, when you're first starting out the game, like, it's not as big a deal. But I feel like anytime I make a new player account these days, it's like, oh, that could be time I could just be progressing the main account. Because I haven't done it for a while. The last time I did it was when Nintendo Switch version came out. Was the last time I made a new account. Because prior to then, I was doing it almost every single year. Just to see what the new player experience was like. But, I haven't been doing it recently. Because the last time we did it was 2.5 years ago. If I'm not mistaken, or was it 3.5? Whenever the Switch version came out. However long that's been. It's either 2.5 or 3.5 years ago. But I'm slightly tempted at some point early next year that we might do it. We'll see. It's just a big time investment to start a new account just to play it for a couple hundred hours. You've never stopped having the Truffle Beatrix theme? Yeah, it is really good. Truffle and Beatrix are still among some of the better things in the game, and they're really accessible to newer players. If newer players are aware of them, you can get them within like a few days of making an account. It's definitely something I would consider rushing if I made a new account. Between Mang, Truffle, and Beatrix, you got most of your stuff covered. As far as what you would ever need for a team. And of course, getting quick heal rolling builds also pretty good, which you would need maxed out Mirage Queen for. I think the biggest issue with new player team building is knowing where all the good guarantee drops are that are important to get right away. Which obviously veteran players know, but a brand new player would have not the slightest clue. Because your main targets when you're first starting off an account is getting any barrier on brown hero class, likely Titan, but you could do any, to level 40, so you have barrier on brown, getting Mang, so mostly going into brown and red, so you have that as an option for higher difficulty content, getting Truffle from Amethyrax, getting Beatrix from, gosh, what's it called? Getting Beatrix from the Deep Hive, getting Mirage Queen from Sunken Fleet, completing a Forest of Thorns so you have Rowan, finding random Leprechaun by pure RNG, and then boom, you got yourself like most of the coverage of what you need. And you could do that in like a week, or maybe slightly longer. But that's definitely doable in a week. From a brand new account. And that includes upgrading them too. Honestly, upgrading, while a little bit of a grind early on in the game, isn't too bad. And now with even more orbs to be able to upgrade stuff, it is easier than ever as well. I would say the biggest issue probably for a newer player is finding a new player guild. While there are still some branches of some guilds that... Oh gosh, we just got our 5th Dragonite gnome. Oh no, now we're starting to get too many. But, while there are still some bigger guilds that help newer players, I don't feel like there's as many new player-friendly guilds these days. Like, most of them are, like, super mega already established ones. It's not as good of a variety of smaller guilds. Because obviously, smaller guilds only stay smaller guilds for so long. Eventually, they become bigger guilds. You get a lot of free loot from guilds, but it'd be hard as like a newer player to get into some of the better guilds. Because I know most of them probably won't even accept anyone under level 1000. Which for most of your early game to mid game, you're under level 1000. As you're progressing through. But it is possible to reach that level in a month. Well, most people aren't going to bother grinding to specifically get all those levels immediately. You got Ferrous Raw traded all the way, nice. Unfortunately, Ferrous Raw isn't as useful in the current state of the game. However, it is still one of the best ways to farm souls in the entire game. It's just not as needed to farm souls with all the other ways to get souls now. Most notably Vault events. But it's still good if you need some in a pinch, and there's definitely a lot of things that require souls as you're progressing through the game, that's for sure. 73 more keys. Also, see a clip on over there and say bye. Well, have a good time. I think I might have missed that. Let's see. Gosh, we need to stop getting Cedric drop. But yeah, based on the data we got from last weekend, he's like a 1 in 10 drop. He should be like a 1 in 100 or something. It's one of those few things where it's like, I wish this very good thing was actually rarer. Because they made him too common. Like, way too common. Is this a vault event? No, what we're doing right now is not a vault event. We're simply using vault keys from a previous vault event. So the loot that you're seeing right now is a result of a vault event, though it is not a vault event itself. The next vault event is currently not actually known, because it looks like they're doing a special hidden one for the holiday. So we don't know when exactly it's going to be. But probably pretty soon. It might even be a longer one. Normally they only occur on the weekends, but last year they did a week-long vault event around the holidays. It almost seems like they're going to do again. Especially since we just got an update that very much wants you to farm vault events. Yeah, all the keys that we're doing now are as a result of them. Not specifically us doing a vault event right now, because there's none currently running. Also, you generally don't want to open vault keys during a vault event, because they don't have any extra loot in them. And during a vault event, you just want to hunt for vault keys, and other loot, but mostly vault keys. Whereas after a vault event is when you actually use the vault keys. As it's kind of a waste of time to open vault keys during a vault event, as they don't have any better loot. And that could be time that you could be spending farming more vault keys. You can see how many keys you have every single time when we're doing the battle. That's the number I keep keeping track of whenever I'm doing this. There's just one screen where there's a vault key number on it. This one right here. So we know every single time what our vault key number is remaining. You found descending stairs? Nice. Yeah, as a newer player, do make sure not to take too many of them, though. But you definitely want to take them if you can take them. Like, if you find it's not getting too difficult, you should definitely take them. Oh, so we got one today as well. 2 more and I'll finally hit level 20. Then we can make a video on teams for it. I already know generally what I want to show for it. But I want to make sure we're actually at 20 before I ever do make a video on it. So we get the full level 20 experience. Well, even if you find it, yes, you can take the stairs at any point. Even if you already did all 3 rooms, the stairs will still work. You should actually always click all the additional rooms after you finish. You don't want to do it before, because you might be able to get a perfect and get free Dragonite. Because if you take 3 battles before you hit any trap, you'll get free Dragonite. And the Bless doesn't count against it, whatever it happens to be. But you'll get free Dragonite if you find the 3 rooms first. And or technically 4 rooms as long as you don't hit a trap. But after that, you can click the other rooms. And one thing that you always want to do if you didn't find your Bless yet is click the other rooms, because sometimes you can get a downward steer, or you can get some free loot. It's generally a pretty small amount of loot, but it's normally like a handful of jewels, or if it's on Sunday, a little bit of diamonds. Which isn't a huge amount, but it's free loot just for clicking on them. We should only do that after you check to see if you can get a 3 perfect for the Dragonite roll for the day. Which I think I've only gotten like 5 times now. There's some people who have gotten it like 20-something times. I think we're at 3. I mean, sorry, not 3. I mean 5 or 6. Yeah, the stairs make all future battles harder, but you also get more loot. It's not a lot more loot, but you do get slightly more loot. Which is the trade-off for making them harder. Which is why I was saying not to make them too hard. Is there a bottom floor to the dungeon? Theoretically, yes. Floor 20 is technically the bottom floor. Because it doesn't go any lower than that. It caps at 20. Yeah, you can't overwrite the pet rescue. You can't get any pets right now for another 6 hours, or sorry, 5 hours. Not until the reset time. Which I didn't even bother doing the pet today. It's a really good pet, but if you already have it maxed, obviously there's not much need to do it. Though, if you haven't gotten it already, I do advise getting it. Goblin pet is actually a really good pet. Among one of the better 10, better 20 in the entire game. Yep, nice. A Nisha. It feels weird not being, like, overly excited about a Nisha anymore. Because we see, like, double or triple Nisha in Explore. It'll still be like, oh, wow, we just got double, or we just got our first triple Nisha. Look at that. Look at how rare that is. But then, because that's only 3 tokens. But then we just get, like, an entire 9 token Nisha in this mode. And it's like, oh, yeah, Nisha. It doesn't have the same appeal, even though it's literally multiple time more loot. Which is kind of funny. Because we basically just got 9 Nisha tokens. Something that we might have farmed for like a week or a month for. Obtained just while trying to find other better loot. Not that that is bad loot, but you know. Trying to find better ones than that. That is still a good drop to get. I wonder how long it's actually going to take for us to max every mythic now. I need to double check when I do the mythic video how many mythics there are. It's going to be really easy to check because that's how many files I'm going to have when I upload it to the thing. So it'll be really easy to check what that exact number is of current number of mythics in the game. But I'm curious what that is, because I'll probably mention it during the video too, because we're covering that hopefully in the next week or so. A tier list of every mythic in the game for 2023. Because we haven't covered it for like 2 years now. So we're making an updated one. But we'll have a number confirmed for how many mythics are in the game, and that'll give us a general amount of time for how long it's going to take to max every mythic. I feel like the answer to that is 2 years, if accounting for all the mythics we're also going to be getting around that time. Like 2 or 3 years. It really depends how much you farm vault events, ultimately. But honestly, that's not too bad. Compared to how long it would have taken before, which was an infinite number of time. Like, it was literally impossible pretty much before to have it done. Now, we're talking, like, maybe 2, maybe 3 years. Can actually max it all. Depending on how much you farm vault events and how lucky you get. Oh, wait, what resource were we referring to, J-Dog? I'm not sure what we were talking about with that. Because I think you misspelled it. But realistically, almost every resource in Gems of War has gotten more common over time. Even gems. Which you wouldn't really think of a free-to-play game, the premium currency becoming more common. But even gems has gotten more common over time. They've added more gem sinks. Oh yeah, all tokens have been... well, tokens themselves only got slightly more common because of mimics. Mimics were added last March. So you can find tokens at a little bit better of a rate just because of mimics. Sometimes you can get a 2 times mimic for 2 times the loot, and very occasionally a 5 times mimic for 5 times the loot. However, Orbs of Glory, which were just added on Monday, these basically count as ways to upgrade mythics. So the bronze one you can use for the first level of a mythic, the silver one a second level of a mythic, and the gold one a third level of a mythic. And these make it substantially quicker to max mythics by a very absurdly large margin of speed. Like, since the update on Monday, we've already maxed 3? Technically almost 4. Actually, if you look at it, depending on how you look at it, pretty much 5. Like, we're almost doing 1 per day at this point. Of course, we're eating through some Volkies when we do so. But we basically, per day, have been getting a max mythic from just doing Volkies. Eventually, we're going to run out of Volkies, of course, but we could just farm more Volt events then. Yeah, I don't know. It is getting easier to get all the mythics as well, because purple orbs still help you with that. And while it is still quite a journey to get to all of them, there's diamonds to focus down specific ones. There's event keys to focus down certain kingdoms. Every new mythic that comes out has 100% of not. Well, you know, it's the only mythic in the drop table when it's in the drop table. So for a whole week, you can focus it down. Because you get to a certain point where you should always go for every new mythic, regardless how bad it is. Because it's better to get a new mythic that you don't have than to get an old mythic that is good that you already have a copy of. You're generally trying not to get repeats unless it's like a really good one, like Double Iron Hawk or something similar. Because I think that's like the hardest thing when it comes to getting all mythics. Is not necessarily even getting the 100+ mythics or however many there are these days. But it's not getting repeats that is the hard part. You're definitely getting repeats. Like some substantial amount of repeats. And the only things to really help mitigate that are event keys, which become increasingly worse at mitigating it because more and more things get into their drop table. Like the average kingdom has like 3 mythics now. And diamonds can, but you don't get like an absurdly high amount of diamonds. Like I think on average per year you get like maybe 5 to 8 mythics per year that you can craft any mythic you want. Depends how much you farm Vault events and stuff. Depending on how much you farm Vault events, you can even get probably upwards of a dozen. Vault events give a lot of loot. That's one weird thing about the game now, though. Which I hope they update some of the other modes. I feel like 95% of all the loot you currently get within the game are as a result of Vault events. Because what we're doing right now is the result of Vault events. We're just opening at a later point, rather than exactly during the thing. But like everything we're doing right now, this is just Vault event loot. Just opened at a delayed time. But Vault events just give so much of everything. They only occur about once every 6 weeks, with a few exceptions. Like the special holiday Vault event we're probably getting soon. What time will I be streaming Fall Guys tomorrow? Probably around noon, Eastern Standard Time. Which is about 15 hours from now if you're watching right now. I'm probably only going to stream for about an hour or two, probably close to 2. They have some kind of holiday event that I'll be messing with. And probably finishing. We'll do a bunch of squads and just mess around with stuff as well. Also, I get to show all the SpongeBob skins. I've actually not streamed a single time since they had the SpongeBob skins like 2 weeks ago or whenever it was. The only one I don't have is Gary as a hat and SpongeBob himself, which is kind of funny. Mostly because they're both in the Battle Pass and I haven't been playing the game enough to unlock it in the Battle Pass yet. But I'll be able to show every SpongeBob skin that isn't SpongeBob or Gary. And I'll just mess around with the game for an hour or two. We'll also unlock the Golden Knight. Or at least the bottom of it anyways. We're still a little ways away from the... I think we're like 300 crowns away from the upper. But that's not the one I really want. I really want Golden Dragon. I think we're like 600-700 away from that. Oh, we'll get it in time. Hopefully by the end of next year. There we go! That's what we're looking for. 3 Nishas. We have maxed a mythic during the stream. It's that easy. In 170 keys, we've maxed a mythic. Yeah, it's literally just 1 per day. At this rate. We're getting so many that during the video, I might almost have every single troop maxed in the top 10 mythics to max video. Like, not all of them, but I think we're going to have like half of them max. We'll even be able to like, on video, upgrade some of them. Just because we have so many of these now. Yeah, everything that we're getting right now are from vaults. And all the loot that we're opening right now is as a result of past vault events. Because during vault events, you have a higher chance of getting gnomes, as well as getting vault keys from those gnomes. And then at a later point, you'll open those vault keys, which is what we're doing now. The opening late vault keys at a later point. But all the loot that we're opening right now and have been for the last several days, including on that one Saturday stream that we did for 1,000 of them, it's all as a result of vault events that occurred in the past, particularly the last year or so. Like my stash that we had prior to last Saturday, that was basically a year's worth of vault keys. Like the almost 5,000 vault keys we had. It's likely possible to get over 10,000 per year, but it depends how much you grind. We grind some quite a bit, some other ones not as much. It really just depends how much time we have on a given weekends. So, gosh, what is that lag spike that happens sometimes? I've noticed the game's been doing that since the patch. Has anyone else been getting that? I'm not sure if it's because of its interaction with OBS now since the patch or what. But I'm not sure if it's even showing up on stream. But there's like a super lag spike occasionally. Mostly when I click off of it to click onto the other tab. So maybe it's an issue with OBS. Potentially. But it's only started happening since the patch. Any orb you get, let's say, from a guild event. Yeah, any orb you get does have a buff now, too. It's not just orbs from vaults. You can get orbs through other means. For example, the weekly guild event right now, you get orbs from that. The Tuesday event we just had yesterday, that gives you 2 orbs. The event we have this Friday, if you play about 13 arena runs, you get an orb. Unfortunately, that's a pretty slow way to get one, but still a way to get one. But almost every event gives orbs. Actually, literally every event does. Or maybe not literally, but almost every event does. Like every weekly and guild event does, unless I'm forgetting of one. Like a Thursday event doesn't, because generally you only do the free battles, and it's not worth going further than that. And if you just do the free battles, you're not going to get an orb from it. Whereas you can on a Tuesday event, you can get 2 orbs for the free battles normally. Or for 30 gems if you need a little bit more. Which is a pretty good exchange rate. Like Tuesday, as far as daily events, still is one of the best value. Because like the one that we have today, it's good only if you need the pet, which you normally do. Like it's a really good Goblin pet today. Tomorrow is just going to be a class event, and the class events are actually one of the worst things to ever spend gems on. Unless you have a lot of gems and you just want to like insta-max a class with like 5,000 something gems, which I wouldn't necessarily advise, but some people do it. Like unless you have that, unless you're that loaded with extra gems, it's generally not worth spending any gems on a class event. It just has really bad diminishing return. Is this worth it for the free battles to get your 25 gems for free, as well as a little bit of free class XP, especially if you don't already have it maxed? Would you suggest using your Paloozas without a vault event, or wait to use them? Oh, you should always wait for a vault event. You should never, ever, ever use them not during a vault event. Though if you are going to, make sure to at least get a pet for your guild, so you can't do that right now when there's pet active. Because the only real justification for doing one when it's not an event is mostly to activate a pet for your guild. Like, that's like one of the only main reasons you would do it. And even then, you could just grind for it and not need to spend a Palooza for it. Because it's way quicker to get a pet gnome when it's not a vault event than it is to get a Palooza. So it's better just to, you know, farm the pet itself. But no, I would advise only saving Paloozas for vault events. Because the main reason why you do a Palooza is because of the vault keys. Like every single Palooza is like 20 to 20, it is about 20-ish, give or take. You can get up to like 25-ish if you get lucky on them. But the average normal Palooza, for the 15 minutes, you can get about 20 vault keys from, of which probably 2 of them will be epic vault key, though not guaranteed. But if you do it when it's not an event, you'll get like 1. Like maybe 1, maybe 2. Because you don't have the heightened vault key drop rate. Which is why you generally save them for vault events. As their loot is pretty bad otherwise. I wish they had like a discounted Palooza though. Like maybe only require 1 scroll to do a Palooza when it's not a vault event. And then when it's a vault event, it requires the whole set of 4. Because that would also give a purpose to having the excess ones. Like people have like plus 100 of a given scroll number. Or reverse number, I mean. That's currently not the case, but that'd be kind of cool if you could. Only one verse when it's not a vault event, and then the full set when it is a vault event. Because then people would actually start running Paloozas when it's not a vault event then. So you don't have to wait for specific weekends. That occurs like once every other month. Ooh, we got another Nisha. An Orb of Glory. If we had infinite Volkies, which obviously we don't, but if we, in theory, had infinite Volkies, I think we would have maxed every single mythic in the game within under a year. If we could just like infinitely throw down like 100, 200 Volkies every day, we'd probably have it in under a year. Yeah, at this rate, we've been upgrading one mythic per day, basically. Technically, slightly even more than one mythic per day. Which means technically that would take 4 months then, if you had that many Volkies. I'm not sure the exact number of mythics there are, but let's say it's like slightly over 100. I can't remember the exact number off the top of my head. But let's say it's slightly over 100. Let's even say 150. That would take 5 months if you had infinite Volkies. Technically even less than that. That's assuming you're only doing like 100 per day or 200 per day. The problem is you cannot, you can grind that many in a year, but you can't grind that many in that period of time. Because let's say every Vault event you get 1,000 of them. There's approximately 8 Vault events per year. That's 8,000 Volkies. If you spread that across 100 per day, that is 80 days, which is not 150 days. It'd be half the number of days. So maybe it would take 2 years then. But you also have to keep in mind you're getting them from other means as well. It's not like Volkies is the only way you're getting orbs. It's how you're getting most of your orbs. But it's not the only way you're getting orbs. Would you suggest using your Ferris or Paloozas? Oh, never mind, I already answered that earlier. I thought it was a different question, my bad. Also, 9 more keys. So if anyone still has any other questions or anything you want me to go over, do let me know. Because once I'll be in these last 9 keys, we'll probably call it a night for now. And then tomorrow night, who knows, we'll do another 200. Because I've been really enjoying opening these. They're definitely a lot more fun, now that they actually have good stuff in them. But yeah, hopefully tomorrow, and if not tomorrow, very soon, TM. We will be covering the best things to upgrade with all these tokens. Particularly the Orbs of Glory. I covered that video 2 years back. I didn't even realize it. That video got like 13,000, 14,000 views or something. But it was a video going over how to, or some things to prioritize meddling. It went over every rarity, though the one I'll be covering soon will be covering specifically the mythics. And only the mythics, because that's the only thing you should ever be using the Orbs of Glory on, are mythics. Oh, excuse me. 6 more keys. Gosh, 2 ingots in a row. So many useless orbs. I'm not sure what to do with them. Because unlike the other ones where you can occasionally use them to save some value, there is no value proposition in saving ingots. Because there's nothing to infinitely sink ingots into, unlike many other currencies like souls and even celestials, which orange can cover, and stuff like that. It is the only orb where there's no infinite sink for the thing that it saves. Even if the other ones have a bad infinite sink, at least they have an infinite sink. There is currently no sink for ingots. Of course, that could change, and probably will change in the future. But it doesn't affect now. And now there is no current sink for ingots. Come on. Oh, no, I was going to say one last good drop. Come on. That is not a good drop. Another ingot. We're on an ingot streak. Alright, last 2 keys. Come on, show us another gold Orb of Glory. Particularly Orb of Major Glory. Alright, final drop. Come on, at least show us an orb. So we have an RNG roll for the end. You know what, I'm going to keep going until we find an orb. Hopefully we'll get it right here. Because I want to end on an orb. That's not an orb. Alright, we're going to keep clicking. That's 600 keys now since Monday. But let's keep clicking. We'll end on an orb drop. That'll be funny if it says new, because we're actually going to know what it is. But hopefully it won't say new. Okay, it doesn't say new, so it's not the one we don't have. But this could be major gold. This could be the pet. We haven't gotten any pet today. There's a 1% chance if we do get it. No, it's just orange. Yeah, we got no pets today. 201 keys and no pet. Interesting. Oh, also there's the redeem code from earlier. For any of you guys who haven't claimed it yet, I might as well post into chat again. It might have been used up by now, but there's the code from earlier. Gives 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, 2,500 gold. Use on gemsofwar.com for the game code section. But anyways, guys, that'll wrap it up for now. We'll have a video going over things to upgrade as far as mythics are concerned in an upcoming soon video. I definitely want to have that posted by Friday, hopefully tomorrow. Aside from that, we'll be streaming at noon to do Fall Guys, probably for an hour or 2. We haven't streamed in like a couple weeks now. So I'll be messing around with that, showing all the SpongeBob skins, and just kind of having some fun. It's a pretty casual platformer game that will be playing way too try hard and killing everyone. And yeah, we'll have our standard Gems of War stream as we do every single night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 hour prior to now tomorrow, particularly an hour and a half at this point. And tomorrow night, we're mostly just going to do the class event real quick, get our free gems from that, and standard dailies, and then just open a bunch of vault keys, probably another 200, or maybe 100, we'll see. Yeah, we might do 199. Yeah, we might go all the way down to 3,000, we'll see. Might as well. Might be closer to 2-hour stream with the other thing in there, or maybe an hour and a half. But yeah, we'll go a little bit longer to go get those keys in and see if we can get anything good. Anyways, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful week. Best of luck with everything. Stay safe out there. Enjoy the holidays coming up. And I'll catch you guys soon. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for watching.